But the Nintendo 64 Xbox debate cannot end here. It cannot end here, Tyler. We need to bring in some experts. And by experts, I mean expert because we lost Kevin. Right, he didn't crash, did he? Are you ready, big dog?
I'm ready.
Did I even tell you what we're doing?
No.
Welcome to Kansas QB, a podcast about growing up in rural Kansas, hosted by two former high school quarterbacks. And now, here are your manly hosts, Steve Juhl and Tyler Martin.
Yeehaw!
Ride 'em, cowboy.
Growing up in the cornfields of the Sunflower State, we were inseparable. Brothers from different mothers who also happened to be sisters. Our moms, not us. Decades later, he's in Iowa and I'm in Missouri, but we'll always have Kansas, and we'll always be the QB. Howdy, folks, and welcome to the show. I'm Steve, he's Tyler, and today's episode is entitled N64 versus Xbox. Tyler, it was a blast having Dad on the last show talking about football. How excited are you to be talking to your dad about his contribution to the Midway football program and dynasty in the Marks of Midway Part 4, which is coming out soon?
Yeah, that's going to be fun. It's always fun, regardless of which one of the Marks of Midway we're talking to. And it's at that time that we need them on the next hour-long live version of this show to talk, because we always have to cut them off because they can talk forever about things that we are super interested in anyway. So, yeah, it'll be fun, just like talking to your dad was.
That was a lot of fun. Of course, if they want to do an hour-long show, then they need to make their own podcast. But I'm glad they don't, so that they can come on to ours.
Yeah.
But as always, you can find the audio version, folks, if you're following along, of Kansas QB on nearly every podcasting platform on the planet, and the video version on the Juhl Media LLC YouTube channel. I don't think we're quite big enough yet, Tyler, to have Kansas QB have its own channel. But hey, you know what? If we ever need to divide the two, we could absolutely do that in the future. Links to that will be down in the doobly-doo.
I do highly encourage anybody who's used to just listening to this streaming platform, go look this up. Go try to find it, just if nothing else, to watch the new intro that Steve has put together of cute little Steve as he's trying to tell it was this big joke. That's the one that I want. Maybe we'll have time to tell that live on air sometime.
Yeah, and Tyler, when I was making that intro, I obviously didn't have much time. I never have a lot of time. I was trying to make it real fast, and I had so many stuff from that. It's that Martin's kid tape from 1980, whatever. When we were riding horses, there's Kevin and Becky riding on Kim, or back to back. I think it was Kim. It was. You giving flowers to your mom. Oh, that part just melts my heart. But yeah, that was a lot of good memories with that. But before, Tyler, we go to broken news. Before we do that, Tyler, we want to bring on, let people know we had Mark Juhl, my dad, Hall of Fame coach, on the show in the last episode. Today we have guests also, and those guests are my brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Brian and Kevin. If you're wondering what's going on here, well, Brian is in an airport in Miami, and he's stuck there until 9 o'clock tonight, his time, 8 o'clock our time. So he had nothing better to do. Kevin also had nothing better to do, and that's why he is sitting in a parking lot. He's not allowed to look don't look at the phone. Don't look at the phone. Right now, he's just driving, and he's listening to us. He's driving to pick a kid up, but we're going to meet these guys later on in the show. By then, hopefully, Kevin will have parked. And don't worry, folks, he's being very safe right now. But everyone, if you could just say hello to my brothers. Brothers, you want to say hello to everyone? Not you, Kevin. Don't look at the phone. Kevin!
I'm parked.
Oh, he's parked? Okay, he's parked. It's okay. All right. More with those fine humans a little bit later. But right now, Tyler, we need to talk about how Broken News is brought to you today by our friend Matt, Darth Ted, and Mark and Nancy. If you would like to become a supporter of Kansas QB, be sure to head on over to Patreon and search for our page, Kansas QB. There are different levels and different perks to suit your mood. For those who are already supporters of the show, have a t-shirt, sticker, or both coming your way. Just hang in there. We're still collecting orders, but we will be sending them out as soon as possible. We want you to have your gear, but I haven't got around to sending it just yet. Anything to add to that, Tyler?
Nope, that sounds good. My daughter's gonna have a question for you though about how she can become a Patreon sponsor. She really wants the shirt.
Well, daughter
so this is gonna
co-host.
No. This is gonna work out well.
Okay, how about you come up with the thing that you want her to do? Eat your vegetables and you get a shirt.
Broken news.
As we like to say, if it ain't broken, it ain't news. Breaking news is for tryhards, and we no longer have the stamina for that kind of effort. So we take stories that have already been broken and share them with the folks at home. Have you heard about this, Tyler? 007 GoldenEye, the game, is now available on the Xbox.
You know, I had heard that. It was making a comeback. I believe you might have told me, or one of our former friends, are still friends, but friends from the past. When we played GoldenEye, someone brought it up to me. As you know, I wasn't ever more on that list. That's kind of crazy that what we played when we were younger is now available on the Xbox.
The Xbox, absolutely. And we're really tempting fate. Tyler's at home, and he lives out in the middle of literally nowhere. And so his internet out there, we tried to get this early enough in the day where there wasn't a lot of traffic, but now that we're pushing a little later in the day recording this episode, we could lose Tyler at any time. But does he sound great with that new microphone? Oh, I think so. Yes, according to the article on TheVerge.com, GoldenEye was made available last week to fans of the classic N64 game. The Xbox and Nintendo Switch versions sport high definition, 4K graphics, smoother graphics, and even, get this, Tyler, local split screen mode. I mean, most modern games have done everything they can to get rid of split screen mode, but you can get all four corners, just like in the old days, on the Xbox with GoldenEye.
That was what one of the draws to it. And then I really do think GoldenEye was one of the main reasons that people wanted to get away from split screen, because when you associate split screen, it was GoldenEye that brought that out.
Absolutely. That is also my recollection, for sure. And Tyler, I might lose my script at some point, so if I suddenly look completely lost.
Nope. Yep,
That's
just
why.
Wave your finger. Wave your finger in the air.
Okay, I'm waving my finger right now.
Okay. So, are we ready to move on for things we remember then?
No, I just wanted to wave my finger and see what happens. You made it sound like something magical would take place. Let's just hit this button.
Okay.
The things we remember.
We're getting older and have already forgotten more than we ever knew. But some memories still cling to our brain parts, like a sticky grenade thrown by Nathan, my character, who just respawned. This list includes memories from our time growing up in Kansas. Let's see just how well we can remember.
Well done. I mean, I still have my script, but well done. In the Broken News segment, we learned that GoldenEye is back, and it's on the Xbox. Tyler, our favorite gaming system of all time is clearly the original 8-bit Nintendo. But we also spent a lot of time playing the Nintendo 64 and the Xbox. Which, in your opinion, was the better of the two systems?
Well, the N64 was such a dramatic switch from the original PlayStation, and even the Super NES, which whatever. But that, to me, remember, that's more of a junior high school thing right before the Xbox came out, and that was either at Brandon's or Nathan's house, because neither one of us had this gaming system, and I did not participate. Like, that was time that I had taken to get into town somehow via horse or bike or ran or however I got to town, and I wanted to do stuff, not sit and play this video game that I'm going to get shot 2 seconds after I wake up, or half a second after I wake up if Nate's playing with us. So I don't have a lot of fond memories of the 64. The Xbox, though, once it came out, I still didn't play it much in Kansas. I played it in Missouri because that was the console used in our house. I think 2 of the other 4 had that console, or 3 of the other 4 had that console, so we just kind of adapted that as what we were going to play on. And Tiger Woods Golf kind of dominated our lives for a while.
Yes, Tiger Woods Golf, a lot of good memories of that in college for myself as well. My thoughts on the issue is Nintendo 64, the games really kind of defined a part of my life, kind of in a way like what with Tecmo Super Bowl and Mario 1, 2, and 3 did for the earlier parts of our lives. But kind of in that mid to late 90s, the games 007 GoldenEye, like you mentioned, going up to Brandon's house or Nathan's house.
Yeah.
And then Nathan coming over, Kevin and I, and you were there oftentimes. A lot of times.
Don't invite Nathan over. He's going to kill us.
He's gonna kill us. And that's when the first time when screen watching became like, stop looking at my screen. I wasn't looking at your screen. Well, you just killed me. Well, I'm just good, you know. There was a couple of the different maps that Nathan and Brandon eventually, but Nathan was the first one to do it, had memorized to the point where you would, as soon as they killed you once and they figured out where you were in the respawn pattern, they knew right where you're going to wake up. And it took so long to wake up again and respawn that they'd be standing there with a smile when you woke up, headshot, you're done, going back to sleep. And Nathan would win games that way by just like, run around, and you're done, and the game's over. But GoldenEye, we never played the single player game. It was all about the multiplayer. Like, I still don't even know what the single player. I guess it follows the movie. But and then if that was followed by The World Is Not Enough, that one I have memories with another Bond game. That was me and Brian. We might have to ask him about that later. Kevin, when he was home from college, and my dad. We do a 4-player split screen, and in my room with an old tube TV, playing that game. It had, 007, GoldenEye was like the OG, but World Was Not Enough had a lot of fun stuff and some cool upgrades. But really for me, the real thing, the defining game, it's close between 007 and this one, was Mario 64. In my opinion, still the greatest Mario game of all time. And I know that's like Mario 1 and 3 are supposed to be that. But 64 for me, the first time I played it, we had a cousin come over, not you, and stay with us for a weekend. And he brought his brand new Nintendo 64 with him, with that game and then a Wave Runner game. And those are like the first 2 games that were made for the Nintendo 64. Right. And I just remember it's 3D. It's 3 dimensions. This is crazy. This is crazy. And it blew my mind. Do you remember, did you ever play Mario 64?
Yeah. And that Wave Runner game, I remember more than the Mario game.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Didn't play it a lot. Believe it or not, I didn't get along all that well with
my other cousins. I know, you're jealous. Over on the Xbox side, I also remember the first time I ever played Halo up at the Winchesters. And I remember coming home and saying, Dad, it's real. It's not just like Nintendo 64. It's actually real. You could get in this Jeep and drive wherever you want to go. Like, wherever you want to go. And he was like, okay, well, whatever. We don't do video games at our house. Well, it was only a couple years later, and he was hooked. And he had an Xbox, and we were playing. Yeah. And so that kind of leads me on to what I loved about the Xbox, is that became kind of Dad and Brian, our thing. Kevin was more college, kind of. I was back probably more to play with them. But Kevin would play it too, and kind of the 4 of us playing together. And I have great memories of coming to film Dad's football games before I came back. Just worked here at St. Joe Christian. And after the game, getting home, and it's like 10:30 at night, and Dad saying, hey, you want to beat the last level of Halo? And so we'd get on, and it might be 1 o'clock in the morning, Brian asleep in the chair like this, and Dad and I trying to escape the ring on these warthogs and get to the drop ship, and we played that level over and over again. So kind of like a me and Dad memory, but those are my thoughts on Xbox. Tyler, anything else to add before we get to our next exciting segment?
No, I mean, the fact that I didn't take to the first player shooter in GoldenEye did not lend well. I've never gotten into any of those games past that. So I'm still very novice when it comes to.
You're still over there with your A, B, up, down, left, right, Tecmo Super Bowl Contra. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, back swing, front swing. Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you, Tyler. You know what? Those games are destructive and desensitize you to violence anyway, so you're a better, well-adjusted human for it. But the Nintendo 64 Xbox debate cannot end here. It cannot end here, Tyler. We need to bring in some experts. And by experts, I mean expert, because we lost Kevin. Right, he didn't crash, did he? He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
I didn't see it.
He didn't.
You hid him from me. I couldn't see it yet.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm eating dinner now. I didn't think you wanted to see
that. His camera's off. He's eating dinner, but don't worry, folks. He's still there. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Sorry,
we got you. No, we're happy. We're happy to have you. And Brian's gonna try to remember to mute and unmute because he is at Miami Airport. But so expect a little bit of noise. But Tyler, let's introduce the scoreboard here. We've got ourselves a little bit of a matchup here. Nintendo 64 in this bro debate versus the Xbox. So we're going to go ahead and give the floor, first of all, to my older brother, even though he's eating, because, he's the eldest. And the system that he's going to be representing right now in the Nintendo 64 Xbox debate is the OG, as far as 3D games go. Dreamcast, okay, all right, I hear you out there, all right. But we're going to call the Nintendo 64 the OG. Kevin, you have 60 seconds. What's that, Tyler?
You remember the Jaguar there was like a 32-bit Jaguar gaming system that Tyson Rush had. Like that came with the first disc system. Yeah, it was crazy.
Vaguely.
Yeah, maybe 6. Yeah. Anyways.
I just remember Tyson was into Mega Man. That's what I remember. But back to the thing at hand. Kevin, you have 60 seconds to convince us. Oh, there he is. Hey, what's up? Oh, is that Griffin? Hey, Griffin, do you know anything about Nintendo 64?
It's Griffin.
Okay, all right. Kevin, 60 seconds.
He does not.
Give us the case for the Nintendo 64.
Okay, 60 seconds. The best case that I've got for the Nintendo 64 is it is a Nintendo product, which means it is probably the best system made for, and this is N64 or whatever, for playing as a group. And Xbox did improve upon some other older systems, but I would say that the Nintendo 64 was great with that. You guys already talked about a lot of different games. Nintendo 64, the GoldenEye, Mario Kart, some of the other great games that you can play with that. But the joystick was definitely something that was unique, and I don't think anybody has ever effectively captured that. And sorry for the background noise.
You're doing great, Dad. You're doing great, Dad. Keep it up.
He maybe doesn't agree with me. And honestly, I just think anything Nintendo is awesome. Xbox never had Mario, never had the princesses. You really can't compete with that. There's Halo, there's Master Chief, but it doesn't compare to Mario. So I'll just go with that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on video, if you're on audio, you might be confused. If you're on video, that right there was an exposition on how you can be a man and a dad at the same time. You just got to learn how to ignore your child while also seeing to his needs. So well done, Kevin. Well done. Let's get some applause for that. Well done. Now, Brian is working through his own set of circumstances being at the Miami airport. So Brian, you're up. I gave Kevin arbitrarily 4 points for 4 great points that he made.
Sure.
It's your turn, big dog.
Sure. No, and I understand Kevin's ignorance, because every time we were playing Halo, he was talking to his girlfriend, not playing with us, so he missed a lot of the kind of best moments of Halo. And I think Tyler is solidly in Team Xbox as well, because he would come over often to play Madden NCAA 2003, and I would ask Tyler at the door, "Do you want to play Halo?" And he would look at me and say, "No, of course not." But still, Xbox games. There you go. Also, let's be honest. Xbox was the first American-made console since the Atari. I mean, I know Kevin likes foreign products, but I thought Kansas QB being a United States state, I don't know. You think you would be more patriotic than that, but I get it. It's fine.
2 points? Yeah.
And when your brothers both leave you and go to college, and you're stuck alone, you can use awesome couch co-op games to Nintendo, but you can play awesome RPGs like Knights of the Republic on Xbox. So, you know what? Fantastic there as well. So, I get it. Kevin's old and outdated, but I mean, let's be honest. The best game experiences were on a Microsoft platform.
All right. Brian coming strong with the heat. Man, he threw the heater right down the middle there. Kevin, you have 15 seconds to rebut because my wife is expecting me at home, so we need to wrap this up. But go ahead, Kevin. What do you got to respond to what Brian just said?
Okay, so I heard Kevin is old, Kevin is old, Kevin is old, Kevin is old. I'm not sure what that has anything to do with video game systems. So
good point.
Negative points for Brian across the board if I'm the one scoring all of this.
I took one away. Do you have anything else?
No, I think I already went past my allotment. So
all right.
Yeah.
Well done, Brian. Your 15 seconds.
I will just say this. Recently, I had a 7-year-old not believe me that I was alive when the Xbox came out. So I guess age is relative.
Well done, Tyler. This is too close for me to call. 4-4. Nintendo 64, Xbox 4 in both cases. Tyler, you're the tiebreaker because you don't care about video games after the Tecmo Super Bowl.
True.
Who you want to give the victory to?
I'm gonna go I'm gonna go with
It's a tough one.
Well, I can't choose against Kevin, but I really can't choose against Brian because I do think the Xbox is better. But in the bro debate, I'm going to give this one to Kev. Like all Brian did was attack. You had so many good points that you could have made with the Xbox, and you chose to go at your brother.
And it was hilarious.
Well, it made for good radio.
I'm still bitter about the girlfriend thing.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call it a tie. We're gonna call it a tie and declare the original Nintendo Entertainment System as the best.
All right, Tyler. All right, I figured that was how this was going to end. Ladies and gentlemen, as I'm running out of battery back here behind me, running my lights. We're going to end and say goodbye to the brothers. On that note,
Thanks,
Brian, Kevin,
Brian.
Thank you for joining us. One more round of applause.
Thanks,
maybe
Griffin.
for them. Yeah, and Griffin and Holly.
Thanks,
I saw you
everybody.
guys. Wonderful job. Well done, guys. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Kevin. We called it a tie. Actually, I knew you weren't going to leave it in a tie, Tyler, because you hate ties.
Yeah.
So I knew what you were really doing there was you're trying to figure out a way to make you win. And guess what, buddy?
That's exactly
you did it.
right.
You did it.
I did.
Well done.
I did.
Well, that does it for things that we remember as we reach 15 kills in the Halo Melee game of life. We're just thrilled that we remembered something. Kansas QB is a production of the Juhl Media Podcasting Network. Before we go, we want to thank Tracy Lindley of Tracy Lindley Voiceovers and Sophie Schilling for the way too professional audio. And of course, I would like to thank Tyler for clearing time in his busy schedule to talk about the Nintendo 64 versus the Xbox. Also, my brother Brian and my brother Kevin. Tyler?
Clearly, I'm not the expert. Yeah, clearly, I'm not the expert on all things gaming, but it was fun anytime we can talk to Brian and Kev.
Well, that's enough of that. For Tyler, I'm Steve, wishing you big fun in your small town.